disguised as servants, Loulou and Gaby have slipped into a reception given by the Baron de Boisrobert.
The world is in need of an enlightened government that will be able to guide it.
Gaby discovers the Baron's secret plans, while Loulou makes the acquaintance of her great-grandmother.
Quick, come on, Loulou!
Loulou!
She writes to her in secret.
The one her mother used to call Loulou. Lorraine Delany.
Ridiculed by an article in which Gaby and Victor Duchêne reveal his lust for power.
I'm going to fix him!
It is Chirenko's job to do nasty work, not yours. The Baron hires a dangerous felon.
Excuse me, Your Grace. I thought you might like to know that your letter has just left.
Thank you, Maria. Dear Sophia, I miss you and little Loulou so much.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to witness the marriage of this man and this woman. Gaultier de Lagny, do you take Sophia here as your lawful wedded wife? To love and to cherish her until death do you part?
I do.
Now, Sophia, I must ask you, do you take Gaultier here as your lawful wedded husband? To love and to cherish him until death do you part?
I do.
With the powers vested in me, I now declare you man and wife.
I do hope with all my heart that you are my Loulou.
All right, girls. The adagio once more. Chins out and back straight. Diagonal. I want to see those toes pointed, please. That's better. Relevez and rest. Loulou, you're late again. Get changed quickly. We'll take a short break.
Don't worry, you didn't miss much.
Solange, but
Surprised to see me here? It's lovely to see you again.
back at the boarding school.
Yes, I know. I was stupid, I admit. Ah, that school with horrible old Trochu. I'm glad to be out of that purgatory. You won't believe this, but I really am glad to see you again. It's a relief to see a familiar face among all these princesses who think they're prima ballerinas.
So, what are you doing here?
I'm working with Madame Bataille on my exam for the opera.
Wonderful, Solange. Congratulations.
Congratulate me when I've been admitted. Let's be friends. All right, Loulou?
All right.
Oh, what happened to your lovely red shoes?
Old Trochu stole them from me. So Madame Bataille lent me an old pair.
When I'm at the opera, I'll leave you my old pair if you like.
All right, girls, the break is over. Let's get back to work. Ready? All right, ladies. Now I want you to start with an arabesque, then straight into a pas de bourrée, glissade, assemblée. And remember, I don't want to see any feet on des danses. Is that clear? In classical dancing, we concentrate on dehors. Off we go. Quatrième, demi-plié, arabesque. Pas devant and développé derrière. Around. And hold. Arch your backs and hold. Second and piqué. Arabesque and turn. I can't say I'm surprised, Loulou. You're not concentrating. Being talented isn't enough.
Don't worry, Loulou.
Let's try it again.
You all right, Loulou?
Yes.
Oh, come on. Cheer up now. These things sometimes happen. And don't forget, I have your portrait to finish soon. And I don't want to see a glum-faced scullery maid sitting in front of me. No, I want to see a prima ballerina.
You know, if it's any use, I could help you work on your jump technique.
I think you really need it, Loulou.
I'm sorry, Madame Bataille. It'll never happen again.
I hope not, because I'm counting on you, Loulou. Otherwise, I would never have put your name down for the opera entrance exam.
Huh?
But that's right, I enrolled you because you deserve it. Dancing is in your blood, dear, but you must work more rigorously. You're the best dancers in the school.
Thank you! Thank you, Madame! Thank you!
I have here the code to Mr. Duchêne's personal safe, which contains his last will and testament. I shall now read to you the last will and testament of Mr. Duchêne. The Clairon newspaper and its printing works do I bequeath jointly to Mr. Marcel Lazare and to Mr. Gabriel Fiorelli. It goes on here. Mr. Marcel Lazare shall be director of the Clairon, and Mr. Gabriel Fiorelli shall be the production editor.
I can't believe it.
I assure you it's true. It's written here. I presume you are Mr. Gabriel Fiorelli?
Yes.
Perfect. In that case, from now on, you're the boss. There is also this letter that was addressed to you personally.
Dear Gaby, if you're reading this, it means that our enemies were not playing games after all. You're in charge of the ship now. And your mission is to track down injustice, dig up the dirt, and lay out the truth for all to see. Let me tell you, it won't be an easy task. Despite my fondness for you, boy, I hope we don't see each other again for a long while yet. Take care, your friend, Victor Duchêne. It is with great sadness that I learned of the accidental death of my esteemed colleague, Mr. Victor Duchêne. The Parisian press has undoubtedly lost one of its greatest journalists. In order that the Clairon may continue its mission, I, Bertrand de Boisrobert, propose to buy out the newspaper for a sum over and above the current net worth of the business, the exact amount remaining confidential for the time being. Those who accept my offer, however, can rest assured of a comfortable retirement. Send that communique to every newspaper.
Yes, sir.
Well, what do you think?
Duchêne's murder opens the gates for you to take control of the Parisian newspapers.
What murder? Poor Duchêne was merely the victim of an unfortunate accident. I've always said they should put barriers on the Metropolitan's platforms.
You don't trust me?
Come now, my dear friend. How on earth could you think such a thing? I just have a little problem called Lorraine de Lagny, who's risen from the dead. I'd just like you to clear it up, and quickly.
I shall do the best that I can.
That's right, you do that.
Loulou, where are you?
Don't move, Loulou. I know these sittings must seem interminable.
May I talk to you about something?
Your trouble linking jumps?
No, would you mind if we talked about my mother?
Rather yours than mine. You know, another small detail has come back to me since the last conversation we had. Your mother, Sophia, was introduced to me by another dancer. What was her name? Let me think. I'm sure I have it here. Sophia And Fedora, that was it. Her name was Fedora. The two worked at the Moulin Rouge.
And this Fedora, do you know where she is now?
Goodness, after all these years. No, I've no idea. The last time I saw her was nearly 15 years ago. All I know is they were inseparable.
Oh, I have to go now. I have work to do. There's a ton of potatoes to peel for this evening.
Yes, the poor potatoes, huh? Mustn't keep the potatoes waiting, must we?
Loulou, you lied to me. You see this? It's a letter from Eleanor de Lagny, addressed to the editor of the Clairon newspaper. Why didn't you listen to me? Huh? You knew I didn't want you to take any risks.
You're right, Gaby, and I'm sorry, but I dearly wanted to find out the truth. It's silly. I'm afraid to open it.
It doesn't matter who you really are. For me, you shall always be Loulou. Here, read it.
My very dear young lady, if it transpires that you have been lying, then you are cruel indeed. However, I'm prepared to accept that you really are my great-granddaughter. In 1897, she vanished with her mother Sophia after the death of my grandson Gautier. The circumstances surrounding the tragedy that struck our family that year remain mysterious. Without the help of my good friend, the Baron de Boisrobert, I too would have gone under, and the family name consigned to the history books. You should know, my dear, that in her anguish, your mother refused to accept help. From what I've been told, it appears that she disappeared and left you. However, I would prefer to talk about that face to face, and therefore I await your visit, Eleanor de Lagny. I must go and see her.
Huh? Are you out of your mind? Going to see her is like walking into the lion's den, Loulou. I made you promise not to contact her. She's controlled by Boisrobert. Don't you see? Chances are, Boisrobert is probably aware of your existence. And the same goes for the man with the silver cane. Did you hear what happened to poor Victor Duchêne?
Yes, I heard.
I suppose, like everyone else, you think it was an accident. It was murder. Premeditated murder. Carried out by a trained assassin. You see now?
We'll have them arrested.
Oh, sure. Assuming, of course, they don't get rid of us first. Boisrobert is behind it without a doubt. He wants to buy the newspaper from me.
Why? What do you mean by the paper from you?
Well, you see, Victor left Clairon to Marcel and me. Boisrobert's offering a huge sum to take control of it, but he can keep his filthy money. We're going to grind that crook into the ground.
Gaby, I beg you, please be careful.
I'm sorry, but Boisrobert really makes me sick. And what worries me now is that he'll find out that we're involved in this. We both have to be extremely careful.
Yes, you're right, Gaby. Don't worry, I'll be careful. Especially as I have other things on my mind from now on. See, Madame Bataille's put my name down for the entrance exam for the Paris Opera.
But that's wonderful, Loulou. Promise me you'll do your utmost to pass the exam. Things will get better, you'll see. One day, Boisrobert will just be a bad memory.
Tell me, Maria, do I have visitors? Maria? Is there anybody there?
Be careful, Eleanor. Another inch and you'd have fallen down the stairs.
I may be blind, but I know every nook and cranny in this chateau, my dear Baron. Come and sit with me, Boisrobert.
It will be a pleasure.
So to what do I owe this visit?
My dear Eleanor, it's, let's say, a little delicate. You see, in fact, it concerns your will. The thing is, I need to have your signature for the donation of the Chateau de Lagny to the French National Monuments Foundation. Of course, this will only take effect once you've gone, which I hope, and so does everyone else, will not be for a long time yet.
I'm grateful for your concern and your wishes for my continued good health. But you see, before signing, I'd like to be certain there are no heirs left.
What do you mean? What makes you think there may be an heir?
Nothing concrete, it's just a feeling. But I prefer to wait before signing. Yes?
Yes, I understand perfectly. If there was an heir to the fortune, it's natural that he or she should inherit it. Perhaps you have some evidence that might allow me to make inquiries.
No, you know old ladies have some strange ideas sometimes. Excuse me, Baron. I'm very tired. Perhaps we could discuss this another time?
Yes, of course, Eleanor. We can talk about it later.
Maria, would you please give the Baron his hat and show him out? Thank you.
But...
Maria, I'm convinced there's something strange going on here.
What makes you think that, Baron? No, of course not.
Would Lady Eleanor have been in contact with a young girl, for example?
Oh, a young girl? Goodness me. And who would that be?
I know that wily old crow too well, and she's hiding something.
Is it ready, boss? I wish you would stop calling me boss. And yes, it's ready. Boisrobert will have a heart attack.
I wish I could be there to see it. Ready for the morning editorial?
Thought I'd bring you your breakfast, Baron.
Thank you, Marguerite.
And I brought you your newspaper.
Marguerite!
What is it? What have I done? Is the coffee too strong?
No, it isn't! Now go and find Cherenko for me immediately!
Goodness, and I thought it was my coffee.
I bought the paper as you requested, Madame.
Good, I'm curious to see what's in it, Maria. It's by the editor of the Clarin that my great-grandaughter asked me to write to her.
But this is incredible. It concerns the Baron de Boisrobert.
Another cordial tribute, no doubt.
No, not quite, Madame.
I'm surprised. Read it.
The many-tentacled Baron de Boisrobert moves in on the press. Armed with his wallet, stuffed with the ill-gotten gains of his numerous shady deals, the Baron has made an offer for the last independent newspaper left in Paris. This move comes in the wake of the supposedly accidental death of the previous owner, the late Victor Duchêne. The Baron de Boisrobert is well known for his habit of acquiring other people's property. Using the respectable French National Monuments Foundation as a cover, he has gradually seized hold of France's most illustrious chateau.
I'm beginning to understand what was behind his questions. Maria, have my carriage made ready. I'm leaving for Paris immediately.
If you think you're gonna fool me like you did Victor, well, you can think again, Cherenko. Huh? I'm sorry, who are you?
Well now, young man. Do you always act this way with the girls? The Duchess de Langny would like to talk to you. Please, won't you get in?
I would be grateful if you would join me, young man. We have so many things to talk about, and alas, so little time to do it in. I greatly enjoyed your editorial this morning.
Even though it wasn't kind on your friend the Baron?
Is he my friend? Tell me about Loulou.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, I admire your wanting to protect her, young man. Please believe me. I don't mean her any harm. I am Loulou's great-grandmother.
I read your letter.
Then you know everything.
What do you want from her?
I just want her to know her family. To help her take possession of what's rightly hers. And most of all, hold her in my arms. Please help me.
Gaby, what are you doing here?
Shh. Try to slip outside. It's very important.
Where are we, Gaby?
We're behind the Moulin Rouge. Go on, I'll stay here. It's all right, go in.
You must be no doubt wondering why I chose this place for a meeting, my child. Please sit down. Won't you, dear? The very first time I set foot in this place, dear, I wondered what on earth I was doing here. My grandson, Gauthier, was in love with a dancing girl. It was a family scandal, but still I came to see her. She appeared clutching Gauthier's arm, almost trembling. A simple dancing girl from the Moulin Rouge, and me, the Duchess de Langny. She took a deep breath, and then she said to me, I realize this is difficult for you, but you're going to be my grandmother. I recognize you. You're the servant girl from the reception, certainly. But are you my great-granddaughter? There's no need to be afraid, my child. I'd like to ask you a few questions. Tell me, dear, how could you imagine that I might be your great-grandmother?
I was still only a baby when I was abandoned and left in the care of a priest, Father Menard. Before she disappeared, my mother gave the priest a parcel. Recently, just before he died, the priest gave me that parcel. It contained a pair of ballet shoes. They were red shoes. There was a swan embroidered on them.
Loulou. Oh, thank God it really is you.
But how can you be so certain of that?
There is one thing you could not have known. I was the one who gave those shoes to Sophia as a gift. And I embroidered those swans with my own hands. It's over, my dear. Things are going to change from now on.
You will find that girl and get rid of her!
Yes, of course, Baron.
I shall kill you! Did the postman ever have very pale blue eyes?
How did you know that, Gaby?
Huh? Get down! Quick!
And you will be taking the opera entrance exam whether you like it or not.